In today's story, a woman discovers that her neighbor has been using her internet connection to stalk his ex and direct the investigation toward her. Before we begin, settle in and enjoy tonight's story. My neighbor used my Wi-Fi to frame me. Two police officers were standing on my porch when I returned from the grocery store. One held a tablet. The other asked whether I had been home at 2:14 that morning. I set the grocery bags on the porch. Yes. Were you using your computer? I was asleep. The officer looked at the tablet. Do you own the wireless network called Maple House? I did. My house was on Maple Street, and I had named the network when I moved in 3 years earlier. I worked remotely as a claims analyst. My internet connection was essential to my job, but I knew almost nothing about networking beyond restarting the router when it stopped working. The officer asked whether anyone else had access. My sister has the password, a few friends, maybe my neighbor. Which neighbor? I pointed toward the gray house next door. Caleb, he helped install the router. The officers exchanged a look. Then one asked whether I knew a woman named Jenna Morales. I did not. He showed me a photograph. She looked around my age, early 30s, with dark hair and a serious expression. I had never seen her. The officer said Jenna had received anonymous messages for nearly 4 months. At first, they were insulting, then they became specific. The sender knew where she worked, where she parked, which grocery store she used, and when she visited her parents. 2 nights earlier, someone sent her a photograph of her apartment building with the message, "I can see which light is yours." The account had been accessed several times through my internet connection. I stared at him. That isn't possible. It is the information we have. I didn't send anything. He asked to come inside. I hesitated. Then I let them in because refusing felt worse. They looked at my home office. My desktop computer was asleep. My work laptop sat inside a locked cabinet. The officers asked whether I owned any older devices. I had a tablet in the living room, an old laptop in a closet, and 2 phones in a drawer. They wrote everything down. One officer asked whether I had ever used the name Still Watching 87. I said no. He asked whether I had any reason to contact Jenna. No, I don't know her. He showed me another message. You always choose men who need saving. The sentence meant nothing to me. Then he showed me a second one. You thought changing apartments would make you safe. The officer said Jenna had moved 6 months earlier after ending a relationship. Her former boyfriend lived near me. What is his name? Caleb Rhodes. My neighbor, the same man who had helped install my router. I looked through the living room window at his house. His truck was gone. I told the officers Caleb had not mentioned an ex-girlfriend. They asked how well I knew him. Not very well. He was friendly, practical, and always available when something broke. He had cleared branches after a storm. He fixed the latch on my side gate. He helped connect my smart doorbell. When my internet company mailed a new router, he came over with tools and set it up in 20 minutes. He had asked me what password I wanted. I chose the name of my childhood dog, followed by my birth year. Caleb laughed and said I should use something harder. I told him no one would care enough to guess it. He entered the password himself. The officers asked whether Caleb still had access to my house. No. Does he have a key? No. Then I remembered the summer before. I had given him the garage code while I was away for a week because a storm warning made me worried about water getting inside. I changed the code afterward. At least I thought I had. The officers asked to take the router. I said I needed it for work. They told me it might be evidence and advised me not to reset anything. One officer photographed the equipment. The other asked whether I would come to the station voluntarily the next morning. I said yes. After they left, I called my manager and said I was having a home security issue. Then I called Caleb. He answered on the second ring. Everything okay? Police were here. There was a brief pause. What happened? They say someone used my Wi-Fi to send threats to your ex-girlfriend. He became very quiet. I asked why he had never told me Jenna existed. He said their relationship ended badly and he did not like discussing it. Did you use my internet? No, you installed the router. That doesn't mean I used it. Do you know the password? I probably did at the time. Do you still know it? He said he did not remember. I asked where he was. At work. Caleb worked as a freelance home automation installer. He set up cameras, alarms, thermostats, and network devices. He understood exactly how to access a wireless network. I asked whether he had contacted Jenna anonymously. His voice hardened. She has spent months trying to make me look dangerous. That wasn't my question. No. Did you send her messages? No. Then why are they coming from my house? He said she could have arranged it. He claimed Jenna knew his work and had learned enough technology to create false evidence. Then he said something that made my skin tighten. Don't let them scare you into giving them your devices. I had not told him the police asked about my devices. How did you know that? It is obvious. No, it is. He said police always searched electronics in harassment cases. Then he told me not to speak to them without a lawyer. He sounded concerned. He also sounded prepared. Police told me threatening messages to a woman I had never met had been accessed through my home internet. Her former boyfriend lived next door. He had installed my router, knew my password, and worked with security systems. When I called him, he warned me not to surrender my devices before I mentioned that police had asked for them. I barely slept. At the station, a detective named Harris explained the evidence. The anonymous account had used privacy tools, but the sender made mistakes. Several logins came from public Wi-Fi. 2 came from a coffee shop near Jenna's workplace. 4 came from my network. The most recent occurred while Caleb was supposedly out of state. That detail mattered because Jenna had already accused him. He produced hotel receipts and work records showing he was 300 miles away. The messages from my connection appeared to prove someone else was involved. I asked whether they believed that person was me. Detective Harris said they were considering every possibility. He asked about my relationship with Caleb. I said we were neighbors. He asked whether it had ever been romantic. No. Has he ever stayed overnight? No. Have you ever discussed Jenna? Not before yesterday. He showed me screenshots of messages sent from Still Watching 87. Some accused Jenna of lying about abuse. Others described Caleb as patient, generous, and misunderstood. One said he helped everyone on that street, even the lonely woman next door who could barely manage her own house. I stopped reading. What does that mean? Harris watched my face. Does it sound familiar? Caleb often joked that I would fall apart without him. He said it when he fixed the gate, when he replaced a smoke detector battery, when he helped move a heavy planter. I thought it was harmless teasing. The message made me sound dependent and pathetic. It also identified me without using my name. I told Harris. He asked whether Caleb had access to my home security devices. I said he helped connect the doorbell. The detective requested permission to review its account history. I agreed. The login records showed my account had been accessed from 2 phones. One was mine. The other was an Android device I did not recognize. The second device had been added the day Caleb installed the router. It remained authorized. I felt stupid. For 3 years, my neighbor may have been able to see every person entering my house. Harris asked whether I had exterior cameras beyond the doorbell. I had 1 camera above the garage. Caleb installed that too. We checked the account. The same unknown device had access. I asked whether he could delete recordings. The detective said an authorized user might be able to change settings or remove clips, depending on the account. My cloud history had gaps, not random gaps. Recordings disappeared on several nights when the anonymous account used my internet. Harris said they would need warrants and provider records. He also said something I had not expected. You should not confront him again. That was the first time anyone spoke as though Caleb might be dangerous to me. When I returned home, a package sat on my porch. It contained a new wireless router. No note. I had not ordered it. The shipping label used my name. Caleb came outside while I was carrying it in. He stood at the edge of his lawn, replacing the old one. I didn't order this. He walked closer. Maybe the company sent an upgrade. The company name isn't on the box. He looked at the label. Then he suggested the police may have ordered it. I said police did not anonymously ship routers to witnesses. He smiled slightly. You are turning everything into a conspiracy. I asked whether he sent it. No. Did you access my camera account? No. Another device has been connected since the day you installed it. That could be an old phone. I have never owned an Android phone. He said perhaps a technician connected during installation. You were the technician. He stopped smiling. Then he said I should be careful about making accusations I could not prove. The wording was almost formal. It sounded like something a lawyer had told him. I carried the router inside without opening it. Detective Harris collected it later. The device was configured already. Its network name was Maple House. The password matched my existing password. Someone had prepared it to replace my router without requiring me to change any devices. If I had installed it, the old router might have disappeared along with useful evidence. The package had been paid for with a prepaid card. The shipping order came from a public computer. The surveillance footage at the store was unavailable because the terminal sat outside the camera's clearest angle. Caleb knew how evidence worked. He did not make easy mistakes. For the next week, police took my router and several old devices. My employer placed me on unpaid leave because I could not access secure systems from an unverified network. The accusation had not been made public, but the consequences had already started. I stayed with my sister while the router was examined. When I returned to collect clothes, Caleb's truck was in his driveway. He watched from his porch. He said he heard I had moved out. Temporarily, that seems dramatic. My internet was used to stalk someone. He said Jenna had always enjoyed pulling people into conflict. I asked how many other people she had pulled in. He said her family, co-workers, former landlord, and now me. The list was too complete. You know who she has spoken to? She tells everyone the same story. How would you know? He said mutual friends kept him informed. Then he asked whether police had found anything on my computer. I said I did not know. He looked disappointed. That expression was small but clear. He wanted them to find something. I asked Jenna to meet me. Detective Harris advised against direct involvement, but Jenna agreed to speak at the station with him present. She looked exhausted. She apologized before sitting down. I thought you were helping him. I was. She believed me by then. Police had shown her the camera account access and the configured router. She told me Caleb began monitoring her near the end of their relationship. He installed smart lights, cameras, and a connected thermostat in her apartment. He called it convenience. Then he started commenting when she arrived late, when friends visited, and when she adjusted the temperature after telling him she was asleep. She removed the devices. He accused her of hiding something. After they broke up, anonymous messages began. She changed numbers. They continued. She moved. The sender found the new building within a week. Jenna reported Caleb, but he had alibis for several messages. He also provided screenshots suggesting someone else was obsessed with their relationship. That someone was supposedly me. What screenshots? Jenna opened a folder. The account Still Watching 87 had occasionally described itself as a woman who lived close to Caleb and understood him better than Jenna ever had. The account claimed Caleb helped her with repairs and visited when she was alone. It described my house, my job, my divorce. I had been married briefly in my 20s. That information was not secret, but I had told Caleb during a conversation over the fence. The account implied I was in love with him. It said I resented Jenna because she had wasted a good man. The messages were building a character based on me, not an exact copy, a usable version, a lonely neighbor. A divorced woman, someone dependent on Caleb, someone who might stalk his ex out of jealousy. Jenna showed me a photograph the account sent. It showed Caleb carrying a toolbox through my front door. The image came from my doorbell camera. Only someone with account access could have downloaded it. I realized the scheme was larger than borrowing my Wi-Fi. Caleb had been creating evidence that I was emotionally attached to him. If police traced the messages to my house, the false relationship would explain motive. He had used real details to make the lie stable. The stalker account described itself as a divorced woman living beside Caleb who depended on him for repairs and secretly loved him. It knew my job, my history, and details I had shared over the fence. Then Jenna showed me a photograph of Caleb entering my house, downloaded from the security camera account he had helped install. Jenna said Caleb often accused her of manipulation. He claimed she fabricated fear to control him. He saved every argument and recorded conversations after provoking her. When she became angry, he became calm. He then sent clips to friends as proof she was unstable. I asked whether he ever threatened her directly. Rarely. He preferred implication, a photograph of her street, a message about her mother's health, a package containing something she mentioned buying. Each action could be explained separately. Together, they kept her frightened. Detective Harris said the problem was attribution. Caleb's access explained how he could use my network and cameras. It did not prove he typed the messages. They needed a stronger connection. I decided to help create one. Harris did not want me acting independently. We agreed on a controlled plan. I returned home and restored internet service using equipment provided by the company. The network name and password were changed. I did not tell Caleb. Then I created a second hidden network through a monitored device. It used the old name, Maple House. The old password still worked. Nothing in my home connected to it. If Caleb tried to use the credentials, the device would record when and how. For 6 days, nothing happened. Caleb acted normal. He waved while collecting mail. He asked whether my work problems had been resolved. He offered to inspect the garage camera because the status light looked wrong. I refused. On the 7th evening, Jenna posted a public photograph from a restaurant. She was not there. The image was old and deliberately selected. The caption suggested she was meeting someone. At 9:18, a device connected to the hidden Maple House network. It remained connected for 11 minutes. At 9:24, still watching 87 sent Jenna a message. You never learn. The device identifier matched an Android phone. The signal strength suggested it was close to the side of my house, facing Caleb's property. Police had the connection log. They had the message timestamp. They still needed the phone. The next morning, officers executed a warrant at Caleb's house. I watched from my sister's car across the street. They removed computers, storage drives, network equipment, and several phones. Caleb stood on the porch while an officer photographed the utility box. He saw me. He did not look frightened. He looked offended, as though I had broken a rule by refusing to remain useful. The search produced more than anyone expected. One phone contained fragments of the stalking account's login data. Caleb had deleted applications, but forensic recovery found cached files and image drafts. A laptop contained copies of my doorbell recordings. There were folders labeled with Jenna's name. Another folder had mine. Inside were notes about my schedule, work travel, visitors, and habits. There were photographs of my windows, screenshots of my social media posts, a draft statement describing me as emotionally unstable after divorce. Caleb had prepared it in case police questioned him. The statement said I became fixated on him after he helped with repairs. It claimed I asked invasive questions about Jenna and confessed that women like her did not appreciate loyal men. None of that happened. The document included dates. Several corresponded to real interactions. The day he fixed my gate. The day he installed the camera. The evening we spoke after a storm. He had attached invented conversations to verifiable events. The strongest discovery was an audio file. Caleb recorded himself rehearsing answers. A second voice asked questions. The voice belonged to his cousin, an attorney in another state. The cousin appeared to believe he was helping Caleb prepare for a false complaint from an abusive ex. In the recording, Caleb explained how the anonymous account connected from my network. He said, "That gives them another plausible suspect." The cousin asked whether the neighbor knew. Caleb replied, "She barely understands her router." That sentence removed any remaining ambiguity. I was not collateral damage. I was selected because he thought I was technically ignorant, socially isolated, and grateful for his help. He had studied which version of me would be easiest to sell. Police recovered a recording of Caleb rehearsing answers with a relative. When asked why the stalking account connected through my home, he said, "That gives them another plausible suspect." Then he added, "She barely understands her router." I had not been unlucky. He chose me because he thought I was easy to frame. Caleb was arrested on charges related to stalking, unauthorized computer access, identity misuse, and evidence tampering. The exact charges changed as the investigation developed. His attorney argued that some files could have been planted remotely. He claimed his statement about a plausible suspect was hypothetical. He said his work required testing networks and storing client access information, but Jenna's photographs, the message drafts, the device logs, and the hidden network connection formed a pattern. Several former clients came forward. Two discovered Caleb still had access to their camera systems after installation. One found an unknown administrator on a smart lock account. No one else reported stalking, but the access showed his methods. My employer reinstated me. I received back pay after the police confirmed I was not a suspect. They still required me to complete new security training and replace every device used for work. My manager said the policy was not punitive. It felt punitive anyway. Jenna obtained a new protective order. This time, the supporting evidence did not depend only on her word against Caleb's. The recovered files showed years of monitoring. He had tracked her through shared accounts, mutual contacts, public records, and devices he once installed. The anonymous messages were only one layer. The deeper pattern was his refusal to accept that access ended when the relationship did. Caleb eventually accepted a plea agreement. He avoided the maximum sentence. He received jail time, probation, restrictions on computer and installation work, and a no-contact order. He was also ordered to reimburse some expenses. The money did not cover what either of us lost. Jenna had moved twice. I had replaced cameras, locks, routers, phones, and part of my home office system. I sold my house the following year. People asked why I left when Caleb no longer lived next door. The answer was that every room had become connected to him. The porch camera, the router shelf, the side gate, the garage keypad, the places where he stood while pretending to help. I did not want to spend years proving to myself that each device belonged only to me. Before the sale, a security company inspected the entire property. They found an old wireless access point inside the garage ceiling. It was not active. The technician said it may have been part of an earlier setup. I had never seen it. Caleb installed equipment in the garage during my first year in the house. Police added the device to the evidence inventory, but they could not determine exactly how it had been used. That uncertainty stayed with me. Perhaps it had once extended my network. Perhaps Caleb planned another access route. Perhaps it had nothing to do with the stalking. Not every object produced an answer. Jenna and I remained in occasional contact. We were never close friends. Our connection began with suspicion and police reports, which is a difficult foundation. But once a year, usually around the date of Caleb's arrest, one of us sends the other a brief message. Still safe, still safe. My new apartment has a professionally installed network. The password is random. The camera account has two-factor authentication. No neighbor has administrator access. I do not give people codes because they seem helpful. For a while, I blamed myself for trusting Caleb. Then I remembered that ordinary trust was not the offense. He offered help so he could convert access into control. He understood that most people do not inspect every device, audit every login, or assume the person fixing a gate is also writing a future police statement. He counted on normal behavior. That was what made the scheme work. The last time I saw him was at a court hearing. He turned as deputies led him away. He looked directly at me. For a second, I expected anger. Instead, he smiled. It was the same small smile he used when he told me I was turning everything into a conspiracy. I understood it differently then. The smile was not confidence. It was a final attempt to make me question what I knew I did not. I went home, opened my laptop, and checked the connected devices. There were 3, my computer, my phone, my television, nothing else. The list was ordinary. I had never appreciated ordinary before.
You've been listening to Low Light Stories, original fiction for late-night listening. New stories are added regularly, so subscribe if you'd like to hear the next one. Thanks for listening.